Welcome to Boxing During Dinner, another exciting episode here at RANDAZZO'S Little Italy. You can see RANDAZZO'S right back there, here in Coral Gables, Florida. And for those that haven't been here, and you know what, this week, David, Mark Randazzo on his Facebook put that the Sicilian Vaca Frita is here to stay.
Yeah, which is huge news.
It's that big a hit.
I like to think that we're responsible for that.
Exactly, the Sicilian Vaca Frita, amazing. You know, order that and order something else.
Yeah.
So, you know, we want to make sure at the beginning of the show that we can't stress it enough. The Sicilian Vaca Frita, Randazzo'S, all the food
best,
here.
I'd say it's best utilized as an appetizer. That's got to be your game plan. You come in, you get the Sicilian Vaca Frita as the appetizer, hit your main entree, and if you can eat anything else, God bless you.
Look, a story that I haven't told my boxing people, and you know, they're probably gonna hate me a little bit. Some of them, the purists.
What's about Manny Pacquiao?
No, I also cover mixed martial arts. And I came here with Chris Costello from the UFC. He's a media relations guy. Chris Costello, Italian, right?
Yeah.
He said he had not had an Italian meal like he had at Randazzo's since his grandmother passed away.
Wow.
So I mean, that's testament. If you know, I'm sure the Italian grandma, like the Cuban grandma, you know, my grandma used to cook the best arroz con frijoles colorado.
I got something for you. This food is so good you will kill your grandma, so you don't have to eat her food anymore.
Exactly. You want to come eat Randazzo's.
Yeah.
But you know, we have a lot to talk about, so we got to talk here. You know, Jessy Cruz, he's our guest for tonight. Jesse's was an accomplished amateur fighter. Now is a pro, very good pro. Big things coming from Jessy Cruz. We'll be talking to him in a little bit. But David,
so for now, we're just gonna make him sit here and feel awkward.
Yeah, he's gonna feel awkward, but you know, he can join our conversation if he wants. This weekend, David, I guess it's called the Canelo Sweepstakes now. Who the hell is Canelo gonna fight September 15th? If he's gonna fight anybody at all. But first on the plate, Cornelius K9 Bundridge against Corey Spinks.
Yep.
What I took away from that fight more than should K9 fight Canelo or should he fight anybody is Corey Spinks should definitely retire. What did you think?
Yeah, I agree. Corey Spinks was never a big puncher. His chin was maybe a little suspect once upon a time, but it was clear even from the first round that K9 Bundridge, who's not the biggest puncher in the world, was denting his chin with almost anything that landed cleanly. Corey Spinks hung in there. Much credit to him for those, you know, third to fifth, sixth round where he really tried to hang in. But his once the chin goes and you can't punch, Corey Spinks, again, never known as a puncher. I think he had a great career, but I agree it's time for him to hang it up.
You know, being from Miami and you know, and this guy being a friend of the show, he's been here many times. You know, I was kind of hoping Corey would win so Joey Hernandez could fight him. And the way Corey looked on Saturday night, Joey would have probably knocked him out.
Yeah, I would have to say so. I mean, Corey's just looks a little bit gun shy, you know. I mean, there were moments where he was able to move his punches and start throwing with a little bit of speed, a little bit of confidence. But for the most part, he seemed hesitant. That's the thing that I had said was happening to Roy Jones when he started getting knocked out. Was you thought that maybe he still had a little bit of the capabilities, but he couldn't throw those punches anymore. He would have his moments, of course, but not nearly the frequency that he did before. And I think that's what's happened to Corey Spinks and, frankly, a lot of fighters who find themselves on the wrong side of their 30s.
Jesse, what do you think about fighters? You know, you being a fighter that's relatively young in the pro game. I mean, you're 29 years old, but you haven't fought much, so there's not much wear and tear. But these fighters that stay around too long. I mean, we saw two examples of it this weekend: Corey Spinks and Roy Jones, who pulled a win out of his ass, but shouldn't really be fighting anymore.
I mean, I guess it all depends on how much damage you take during the course of your career. Because there's fighters like Bernard Hopkins that didn't take that much of a damage, and lately he looks like he needs to retire, but he did pretty good.
But he is 47.
Yeah, he's 47.
Exactly.
I think most people in the regular working sector are retired at 40. Most cops are retired at 47.
Yeah, exactly.
But somebody else that fought on this card, Erislandy Lara, didn't look as good as I expected him to against Freddie Hernandez. I keep thinking Freddie Rodriguez. Hernandez, Rodriguez, Perez.
It's all the same.
It's all the same.
Funny,
Alvarez.
The Hispanic guy on the show is saying they all sound the same.
Exactly, all sound the same. Cruz, it's all the same. It all ends in Z's, right?
Oh, jeez.
But Freddie Hernandez, he held in there against Erislandy Lara, but you know, Lara did win. I thought he won pretty easily. It wasn't much of a debate. But do you think because he kind of looked a little human, I guess, in this fight, that maybe Canelo now fights him and Golden Boy will risk it, or no?
Erislandy Lara is not going to fight Canelo Alvarez. He could be the number one ranked 154-pounder by every sanctioning organization. Canelo's not going to fight him. Canelo told Golden Boy, I don't want to fight Erislandy Lara. Why? He wants a guy who's going to be a little bit more action, as far as excitement in the ring goes. And Lara's too much of a risk, even with a not so impressive show.
I have a dilemma here, David.
Tell me.
Cuban American, obviously a fan of Erislandy Lara, the Cuban fighter. Guess who he's gonna fight next?
Tell me.
Who's my man crush?
Carlos Molina.
Carlos Molina.
That's a fight that he wants.
The fighter that I like because of his defensive skills, because he makes everybody look like crap when he fights him.
Yep.
Carlos Molina is gonna fight Lara. I ran into Luis de Cubas at Golden Boy Promotions not long ago, and he told me that's the fight he was there to negotiate against Carlos Molina. So that fight will be coming up next.
And Lara says he wants that fight too.
And it's
like
a good
that
fight. It's a good fight
because it's the one fight that is a question mark on his resume right now. He lost to Paul Williams, but no one believes that. The only fight that people think he might have actually lost in his career is against Carlos Molina. Neither of those guys can get any fights against anybody else. It's great that they're going to fight each other.
And you know what? Props to them for having the balls to fight each other.
Yeah.
And somebody else that fought on that card, as we segue into Jessy over here.
Seg is short for segue because we don't have time to say the whole word.
Gary Russell, who fought this Saturday. Gary Russell, who fought Jessy Cruz in the amateurs. And David, you said you weren't kind of impressed by Gary Russell, but he got hit a little too much for your liking.
In the first round against a guy who was literally thrown in at the last minute just to be a tomato can. Not a big puncher, but landed quite a few clean shots on Gary Russell in the first round. And maybe Russell was trying to feel him out and everything, but nevertheless, I think it's guys like him and Adrian Broner that need to stop playing and start fighting. They need to get in with real guys. You saw Gary Russell turn up the gas in the second and third round. That's how he should be fighting from sunup to sundown. Until they put him with somebody real, the guy's not going to be tested. And I think that guys who aren't tested tend to get lazy in their training and preparation, knowing that they're going to get by on their basic athleticism and stuff and just take guys out. They're doing Gary Russell and Adrian Broner, I pair them together, a big disservice by not putting them in with legit fighters because they stand to lose everything.
Jessy, you fought Gary Russell in the amateurs. You were telling me he had a little more pop in the amateurs than he does in the pros. Why do you think that is, and how do you evaluate his career so far in the professional game?
I mean, I didn't get to catch his last fight, but his other fights, he's been doing good. I mean, when we fought, I think he's working more on speed. When he fought, he was throwing a lot of double hooks, and I took my elbow out, caught him, and it broke his right hand, so that probably had something to do with it. But he's probably working more on speed. He doesn't want to hurt his hand. I mean, he needs to throw it if he gets a big fight, because if not, those Mexicans are not gonna respect his speed.
So the brittle hands are courtesy of Jessy Cruz over here.
And that's an insider's perspective, because maybe that legitimately does provide some insight into why he's fighting the way he's fighting.
Absolutely.
So.
And Jessy over here was an accomplished amateur, fought in the Olympic trials, started his career off hot with a lot of hope from the people here in South Florida. Your career started a little slow, Jessy, not to the liking of the people who saw you fight amateur and knew your potential, but lately, this kid's been unstoppable, and his career looks like it's taking off. Why the struggles early on?
Well, I had problems with the baby mama, and then and then my old coach, he took me to where he took me to. He didn't know how to transfer me to the pro system, which he did what he did. Now I'm with Herman Caicedo, which I greatly thank. Which Joey talked to him to start training me. And he's been great. He's been showing me love. Henry Rivalta's been showing me love. Elite U is another reason that's been helping me out. CrossFit, Nelson Rodriguez. We're doing a lot of work, a lot of professional work, and I'm more focused and motivated to how I should have been in the beginning.
Yeah, and in your early fights, we would see the glimpses of your power. I think Jessy has an incredible amount of power. There was one fight that I forget if it was a draw or you might have lost by a point or two.
I dropped him in the first and the third round.
I mean, you had the guy knocked out. You could have knocked him out. What are you doing differently in the gym with Herman that's causing you to display your power a little more, like you did against Travis Hall, and it's bringing you the success that everybody expected early on?
Well, Herman's a coach that he's there with you, sun up, sun down, and he just. It's a different style. He taught me how to. I had 50 cal and I was on a tank shooting, and now he showed me how to aim and how to be. And I also got Lou DeVaya. That's another great help. Another lefty.
Former world champion.
That's helping me out. Also, that's a great blessing. I think July 21st is gonna be a sensational fight. I think I'm going back. I'm getting more confident. That's what I lacked from the up and downs. A lot more confidence is gonna make me a dangerous man.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mark Randazzo.
How are you guys?
He's a handsome man, isn't he?
Welcome to Randazzo. Hey, champ, how are you?
Oh my gosh.
So we have the rigatoni with prosciutto here, which
And
I
vodka
love.
sauce,
The
am I right?
meatballs.
That's a vodka sauce there?
Sauce, yes, sir.
Pretty, you know,
The
in our
meatballs
off time, we
which-
might as well be waiters here. We're going to know the menu pretty soon.
We got some spaghetti, and we also got some chicken parmesan. I mean,
I don't think I gotta get you another chicken parm.
well, there's food to go around.
Yeah, so then Armando, hold on,
Mark being generous.
camera on me for a second. This is so Armando can take home leftovers to his wife. He takes that crap to work the next day and eats it
Hey.
himself.
Hey, you know what?
Man.
Mark knows this. David's a single man. I think Jesse's a single man. You need to bring food back home, or if not, you're in trouble.
You guys should try
Maybe
it.
that's why we're single.
I've got every girl to like me through food. It works.
Mark, on Tuesdays now, after Mondays we'll be in here eating, on Tuesdays I'll be in the kitchen learning.
Jesse, talk about your barbershop.
I've been cutting hair for 16 years now. I could make a decent living cutting hair, but this is what I like to do. I mean, I started boxing because Jermaine Taylor, after the Olympics, he came to the shop and I started cutting him up. And I got expelled from Dade County Public Schools for fighting so much.
They loves to
You know,
fight.
I went to Southridge. It wasn't like an easy school to go to, anyways. So
the Darren Davis years.
yeah. So and then I told Jermaine, you mind if I start training? He's like, come on, man. And me and Jermaine have been good friends, and he actually started me. Him and Odell Nelson is the one that started me boxing.
What's next for Jessy Cruz past July 21st, and what do you think your career is going from now? You are 29. Do you want to just be on the fast track to the top?
I think about 3 to 4 more fights. I'm ready for anybody. I'm getting my my win to a 12-round action fighter. Where I'm about like a 10-round fighter right now. So I want to work on the 12 rounds, the little big that we gotta perfect, and then go for the big shots. I mean, I fought on everybody in the amateurs that's big name: Roberto Marroquin, Gary Russell, all the big names in boxing now. I should have been right there with them if it wasn't for this setback.
You know what's gonna help you win this next fight and get you 20 more years?
Pasta.
That
The
meatball right
I
there.
gotta try it. I
help
gotta taste
yourself.
it.
Jesse needs to
Rest
try
here,
it before we get out of here on Boxing During Dinner. But go to our website, boxingduringdinner.com. I'm about to write an article about the heavyweight division, David. I'm upset.
Yeah, you're mad.
And I can't stand it
He's
anymore.
like Medea. He's mad like Medea.
I can't stand these guys on Twitter that claim to be, legit journalists, yet they kiss the ass of everything and all things boxing. You need to tell it how it is. The heavyweight division right now is non-existent. If it weren't for the Klitschko's, I'd seriously, consider boxing abolishing the heavyweight division. It's that bad right now.
Cancel it.
And you know what? It's a joke. It's a freaking joke that James Toney's gonna fight Tomas Adamek. It's a freaking joke that Povetkin was gonna fight Hasim Rockman, and I like Hasim Rockman. Hasim Rockman was probably part of that last class of good heavyweights.
Good heavyweights. I think
But
he made
he's
an
in his
entire
40s
career
right now.
out of one punch.
Exactly, and he was part of a lot of good fights, but it's time to go, and it's time for the heavyweight division to do something different. Because do you know any good heavyweights, Jesse, that we could bring into the mix?
I have a good friend of mine, Glendy Hernandez. He's
There you go, Glendy Hernandez is
a
gonna.
Cuban fighter that I think is gonna surprise the world July
gonna-
21st also.
Yep.
He's gonna save the heavyweight division. You heard it here first on Boxing During Dinner. But we gotta get going because Alex doesn't want to edit a 20-minute video.
Nope, he's shaking his head now.
Let
already probably
me
there.
give a shout out to one of my anatomy teachers.
There you go.
Miss Professor Ortega. Thanks for letting me come during Monday during class. I had class on Mondays.
Oh, awesome. Look at that.
Jessy Cruz, thanks a lot, man. Thanks for being on Boxing During Dinner. July 21st, catch him at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino here in Hollywood, Florida.
Information
and
along the bottom.
all the information here that Alex posts day in and day out. And remember, come to Randazzo'S. I say come to Randazzo'S. David says it, and so does Jessy Cruz, who comes here before every weigh, and that's why he wins his fights. Since he started coming to Randazzo, he hasn't lost one fight. Honest to God. So
the truth.
we'll see you next week.